Hello people, this is Sky Demolisher and welcome back to part 4 of our Transformers War for Cybertron playthrough, or Let's Play. This episode is the Death of Hope, and as voted by you guys, we'll be playing as Soundwave. At the end of this, I'll run through the next episode's characters, but there's already a poll up on Twitter, and the link is on Facebook already, and that already points out that we're on the same 3 characters again: Megatron, Soundwave, or Breakdown. So you can have your choice as to which one you want to play, or see played, I should say.
Zeta Prime is conquered, but the device Megatron believed to be the Omega Key simply activated the key, Omega Supreme. Megatron quickly discovers he can use the device to track Omega Supreme and races above the skies of Iacon in pursuit of his quarry.
Maintain this heading. The device shows the Omega Key is directly ahead.
I thought Zeta said it was gonna come to us.
We are being intercepted.
It's coming right at us!
Stay your course!
We're gonna die!
Turn around and... Where did it go?
He's gone! What is this guy? You think he knows about the Omega Key?
No breakdown. He is the Omega Key.
Identity: Omega Supreme. Enemy status: terminated.
What are we gonna do now, Megatron?
Silence! This merely modifies my plan. If Omega Supreme is the key, then I shall force him to open the planet's core.
How exactly do you think you're going to force something that size to do something you want, though? Methinks that's an exercise in overconfidence.
Megatron, there's a Decepticon drop ship across the bridge. They appear to be scanning for survivors.
Come in, Megatron! This is Starscream. Do you read me?
Starscream, I am 7 clicks north of your position.
Megatron! I watched you crash and burn!
Enough! Meet us at the bridge.
No, I think we'll skip having a shotgun. And we already have that, so that didn't go anywhere.
Identification: Decepticons. Action: terminate.
Fall back! Fall back and take cover!
He's coming! Megatron, help us! Megatron!
I mean, it's really nice that they retained his
Our weapons are ineffective.
his same voice from the original cartoon.
Destroy the bridge supports!
Very, very basic speak. Of course, later on it's shown that he can actually form like full sentences, but he pretty much goes to basic speech mode after the Constructicons destroy Crystal City.
Did it all right, but there goes your Omega Key.
We can salvage the wreckage for what we need.
Done. Acquired. Mission: destroy.
Fall back! Inside! Quickly!
It's no use, Megatron. The door's locked.
So why are you running?
Start there, John, to open the door.
Excellent idea,
I mean, you both have vehicle modes that go much faster than running. So why are you running there? Which I guess is maybe a bit hypocritical of me, because throughout most of this game, that's exactly what I've done. I've run places instead of transforming and using my vehicle mode.
How are we gonna beat this guy, Megatron?
During our approach to this sector, my scanners detected iron cannons near the top of the chasm wall.
I see. We'll lure Omega Supreme up there and use the Autobot guns against him.
Yeah, I have to admit, one of the things that keeps plaguing my mind while I do this is whether or not I've remembered to turn the microphone back on after I turn it off. Yeah. Oh. Well, I was slightly oblivious of the fact that there were Autobots here.
Megatron, I'm receiving a Decepticon transmission.
To all Decepticons who fight for the glory of Cybertron, Megatron has fallen. I, Starscream, have taken my rightful place as your leader!
Starscream, you half-wit! I still function! A fact you shall regret when I choke the life out of you! Now, I order you to deploy ships for immediate evacuation!
Starscream cannot hear you, Megatron. All communication to the surface has been jammed.
See? The exact same thing that gets played out in like every Transformers series with Starscream.
Here he comes! Keep moving, Decepticons! We need to reach that lift!
I mean, I know I should transform and use my vehicle mode because it's faster, but I mean, I only just got a big gun and I haven't got to shoot anything with it yet.
This lift will provide passage to the surface when activated.
What's wrong with this thing? Why can't we get it to move?
The elevator is locked down.
A simple solution then. Break the locks.
Sounds like a bad idea, doesn't it?
Starscream, come in. This is Megatron.
There is too much interference. We must move higher to relay your signal.
Can this feeble Autobot mechanism not move any faster?
Well, I mean, it could in the other direction since we've just broken all the locks off it.
Chance against my intellect.
Megatron?
What? Target reacquired. Weapons engaging.
Wow, he looks really angry.
Target identification. Megatron, Decepticon leader. Recommendation, complete termination. You think you can destroy me, Omega Supreme? You think you can destroy Megatron? Do your worst.
See? And, oh well. At least there were backup locks, but
We're still alive! What happened?
Open fire on the emergency locks! Destroy them!
again, is that really a good idea?
Megatron, all due respect.
I mean, if you were in an elevator, would you be happy with people shooting out the emergency
Would you rather
brakes?
face his wrath or mine?
Isn't he cool looking though? And of course, recently we've just seen that there's a new Omega Supreme. Whoops. Okay, I'm dead. I knew that was coming. Anyway, yeah, there's a new figure is being teased. So far, all we've seen is the tank mode. So I lose my big gun, but well, at least now I can double jump because Soundwave doesn't have the hover ability like Megatron does. Yeah, so we've got a new figure coming eventually. Whether or not that will actually end up in New Zealand is another question, because we often miss waves. Like, sorry, just concentrating. Like, we got the original, well, I shouldn't say original, but we got the aerial bots as part of the Combiner Wars saga here. But of course we were missing one of them because that was a Wave 2 piece, and that meant that we got one of the Stunticons. Drag strip, I think.
Megatron, you're still functional.
As the other limb for that Superior. And of course Motor Master and the other Stunticons were in Wave 2, which never got released yet. So a lot of us had to order in the Stunticons from America, or one of our members was good enough to bring over the or order in the Japanese, I think they're called Unite Warrior, box sets of the Combiners, which of course have like extra details and that sort of stuff, and their release of the aerial bots was the actual aerial bots team, and that because the one that we got had a new member called Alpha Bravo, and I don't think in that it was because one of the aerial bots had died. It was just that he'd given up on the war, so they replaced him with Alpha Bravo. I believe in the same story, one of the members, I can't remember which one, I think it might have been Scrapper from Devastator, I think did actually die, and was replaced by Prowl. Or maybe he gave up and one of the aerial bots died. I know, like, spoiler, but in the Dreamwave comics, Superion dies. Devastator attacks New York, I think it is. Swap over to the other one. I think it's New York that he attacks, and the humans not doing so well today, are we? It's much easier when they're in their vehicle mode. Sorry. Sort of that downside of trying to do something that requires conversation at the same time that concentration while you're trying to converse. So I think where I got to was, I'm pretty sure Devastator was attacking New York or another American city, but I'm pretty sure it was New York. And the humans launch a nuke nuclear missile to destroy Devastator. But of course that would kill a lot of innocent people too. So Superion goes to intercept it, and yeah, meets it head on, dies. I think parts of him, or maybe the whole of him, gets salvaged at a later part of the series. And then I think they get like a sort of like a zombie, maybe not zombie, but human controlled Superion for a while. Yeah, it's been a while, and the Dreamwave comics, I think, really have been out of print for a long time. I believe there were issues with the artists and writers being paid. I'm pretty sure that's why they folded. And I'm probably going to butcher his name, but I think his name was Don Figueroa. The artwork that guy did was amazing. Unfortunately, I'd have to look it up, but I know that he created like a mecha series himself. Like he designed toys, and well, maybe not toys, I should say, like action figures, and that sort of stuff for it. And yeah, at the end of the day, he is an amazing artist. I don't think he's dead. God, I hope he's not dead. Speaking of art, like completely different tangent, but did you guys see that Banksy one that happened the other night? Like I think his it's Girl with a Balloon or something, and it sold for like, I'm almost out of ammo. I think it was 2.1 million. Oh, sorry, I'm shooting Megatron there. And I'm even wearing my glasses. My eyesight must be getting bad, or the Starscream's rubbing off on me. But I'm not rubbing off on Starscream. Oh. Perversion. Yeah. I think it was Girl with the Balloon. It had a built-in shredder, and now they're saying that it's going to be worth like 2 times the price that just got paid for it.
My patience is at a critical low.
I actually really like Banksy's artwork. I'm of the opinion that it's actually several artists, not one single artist. And years ago we used to have a street art exhibition in Christchurch where you could actually go and see some of his artwork.
Megatron, you're alive?
Spare me your theatrics. I need immediate air support. Attack Omega Supreme.
I mean, again, would you really want to piss off something that large?
New targets acquired. Initiating pursuit.
Now, I know this Omega never had it, never had an official toy, I should say. He does have a third-party toy. Whoa.
Target the repair sentries, or we'll never destroy these Autobots.
Wow. Oh. No wonder I'm losing health so quickly. There's one right behind me. Oh, it's Megatron. Man. That's really a valuable lesson in being aware of your surroundings, isn't it?
Repair systems are healing the enemy units.
Initiating weapon cooling.
Now, good question is that the last one, or was there another one? Yeah. Whoops. Damn it. Blasphemy. Sorry. I realise Soundwave, and I'll try to find an Energon cube for you in a moment. I mean, these things make real quick work of these guys, which is really good. Of course, you get the trade-off there. Lack of speed when you're moving, and you can't double jump. You can hover if you've got the hover ability, which basically gives you a double jump of some variety as long as you time the hover right. Can we just take a moment to appreciate those riffs? If you didn't know, I'm a guitarist myself. I don't sound anywhere that good, but, you know, I'm self-taught. I have played for, like, 20 years. And, yeah. I'm a really lazy guitarist. Oh, there's some health. Exactly what I need. Not that I'm saying that people should get lessons. I mean, I think that's a personal thing. If you want to do it all on your own like I did, you can. And I don't think it makes you any worse. Like, as long as you practice properly, sort of thing, which is what I don't do. Besides which, my brain can't process things that quickly. Or I should say, my brain is capable of doing it, but only if I'm unaware that I'm doing it. Which is an unfortunate thing. I have really good reaction times for, like, reflexes. But if I have to think about it, everything slows down. Which of course is because, you know, I have depression and a few other mental issues. And I took a lot of blows to my head as a kid. Like a lot. I was basically like a walking, if you can hit your head on something, you will hit your head on something. And the thing with, you know, like, I grew up in the age of when you got concussed, or concussion,
Omega found us again. We can't go that way. What do we do now?
you just walked it off.
Let's get off this road and out of
And of course later they figured out that, like, you know, just walking it off really isn't the done thing. And of course, like, you can get concussed and have, you know, blows to your head, and they won't show up any kind of damage sort of thing until a number of years later. And then of course, maybe that means there's 4 different varieties of things, because I don't remember the thermo mines earlier. 3 grenades and 1 set of mines, I think, is what's in this game. Anyway, as I was saying, things like concussion and that, you might not get damage that's evident straight away. Sometimes it can take a couple years, and then slowly it kind of creeps in and they realise that maybe that blow to your head did a bit more to you than they thought. And of course, you know, as you get older, your brain sort of processes slower. I think particularly for males, which is a good thing for females. You know, well, you know, female intelligence is benefits there because the males, you know, start to lose theirs. But then I guess it could be argued that, you know, do males really have good intelligence in the first place? Probably not. I mean, when I was learning contact juggling, which I did like I did with guitar, you know, very half-assedly. Oh well, at least he survived. Hold on. Better go for that one actually. I figured something that would be like a good weight equivalent of an acrylic would be a pétanque ball or a bowls ball, like, you know, the French bowls pétanque, not you know, not like garden bowls or lawn bowls. It's lawn bowls, isn't it? Not garden bowls. I don't think you'd want to play in a garden. Gardens are much better for other sports. Yeah, see, I've gone off on a tangent and now I've somewhat forgotten what I was actually talking about, which isn't good. Oh, yeah. Pétanque balls. So, you know, I was having it, you know, I was trying to do the butterfly thing. You know, like you see David Bowie do in the movie Labyrinth. That's what contact juggling is, by the way. What David Bowie does with those crystal balls, which actually aren't crystal, they're acrylic. I was trying to do the butterfly with the pétanque ball. And also, you know, like the body switch thing, so it rolls down one arm and around past, like, either through the front of your chest or behind your neck. And over to the other hand, sort of thing. And of course I lost control of the pétanque ball and it thudded into the ground, and you know, I looked at the dent in the ground and I thought, oh yeah, that's a pretty hefty dent. I picked up the pétanque ball and I started trying my contact juggling again, and I dropped it, and another big dent, and then you know, oh yeah, that's a big dent. I'll you know, that's all good. We might die here if I screw this up, or not. So I think I got to the second or third dent in the ground after dropping it, and then I suddenly thought, you know, it's probably not a good idea to be using this thing, because, you know, if it whacks you in the face, and it's come close to whacking me in the face a couple times now, it's either going to smash all my teeth out or it's going to knock me out. And of course, being home alone at the time, it would be many hours before anybody found me. I don't think that's a unique thing for me. Like, ooh, that's lucky. I think as a male, it's probably pretty safe for me to speak for males and say that we consecutively or consistently do things that are extremely stupid that we shouldn't do, and we don't really think about it until later, which I can't really say is something that I've ever noticed with any of my female friends. Whoops. Oh, that was lucky. So we only just missed that one. Of course, the other two, you know, they either didn't make it or...
It's too quiet.
I mean, you could, if you wanted to be a dick, you could probably stand here and hold one of them in place. That's not a very nice thing to do. I mean, at the end of the day, we should always be kind to our friends. Now, if you guys actually play this with like 2 other people, having one of you with that, the Energon Repair Ray, can be really, really handy because you can replace their health and heal them. You get to play Doctor. Soundwave is normally armed with this because I don't actually know why. It's not like he's the kind of person you'd really want to be your physician. Or at least I don't think I would want him as a physician. On top of that though, I would much prefer, I'm pretty sure something just exploded behind me and did that. I would prefer Soundwave as a physician, as opposed to Shockwave. Because if Shockwave was your physician, you might wake up no longer being the person you were. Must have been a stun grenade. I believe in the original Marvel comics and in a few other sources, Shockwave is actually the one that creates the Dinobots. In those, in the animated series, it is, I believe, Ratchet and Wheeljack that help build the Dinobots along with Spike. And originally, there's only 3.
Perfect. Damage potential near maximum.
And the only one of those 3 that I currently remember is Grimlock. Yeah. I know Swoop's not in the original ones because he comes later. I think it's Slag, Sludge, Swoop, Grimlock.
The bridge is extended. We now have access to the other side.
Finally!
There is a 5th one.
Move quickly! We must reach those guns!
Swoop is the only flyer, which is kind of a weird statement to make given that the Dinobots seem to be some of the only Autobots that actually, well, yeah, Autobots that can fly. After the first couple of episodes anyway. Like in the original episodes, was it More Than Meets the Eye, parts 1 through 3? The Autobots are shown as being capable of flying. And I think sort of like the tail end of More Than Meets the Eye Part 3, they're sort of losing the ability, but Sideswipe has a jetpack. Yeah. I think it's this one, whoops. In this game, there's an achievement. No, it's not here. It's somewhere else. There's an achievement for crossing a bridge within a certain amount of time. The only way you can do this is if you use Soundwave and you use his battering ram. It might be this section. Can't fully remember. Oh no. Okay. This is not particularly good because I've actually fallen off it. Yeah. I should have gone inside that pipe. And unfortunately I've fallen through the world. And I don't know if I can get back out or not. I do not think I can. There we go. So that's a good a good example of what not to do.
There's Omega Supreme! Watch out!
Faster, Decepticons!
Oh no, it's a nose to tail. I'll have to get his insurance details.
Heads up! More mines!
Is Omega still out there? Did we lose him?
Nope.
Guess not.
I mean, I kind of want to stop so I can look at him and stuff and show you how cool he looks, but, yeah, like, that's not a good idea. Yeah, this time, we have survived. That's where you're meant to go.
We made it! I can't believe it! We made it!
Yes, Breakdown. Your constant whining saw us through.
Megatron, the second cargo elevator is nearby.
I don't know why that keeps coming up with missile incoming,
Heavy ion turrets.
or missile inbound.
We shall ascend,
See?
and Omega Supreme will follow to his destruction.
It's probably a carryover from the outside.
More cloaked Autobots! Destroy them! Shoot anything that moves!
That was a good clump of them. We're too wise. Don't clump up close. Particularly in like shooter games and stuff, because it makes a single grenade a very, very potent weapon. I'd like to say a shotgun too, but I think a shotgun really doesn't work that well on a big group of people. Close up it works really well on one person. I realise making that statement sounds kind of psychopathic, as if I shoot people for a living or something.
I just took out my target, to no one's surprise.
I don't.
Look at that.
Well, I mean,
Guess we can't all be uniform.
I shoot people with Nerf guns.
Need to be troubled by brutes.
I like Nerf guns. And until last year, it was pretty much a tradition in my family that we had a Nerf war. Because myself and my two brothers have a large collection of Nerf guns, and my eldest brother has kids. So we would get together and we'd have Nerf wars. And that was basically a tradition from, I think, the first Christmas after an earthquake. We lost our original home in
Status report!
The Autobots are counterattacking! Retreat!
2010.
Decepticons, retreat!
Belay that order! Decepticons, this is Megatron! Anyone
Actually, it might have been 2011.
kill on sight! Press your attack immediately!
Attack! But Megatron!
To be honest, I don't remember Christmas in
Scream.
2010.
I order you to continue the assault! Megatron out! We've reached the ion turrets. Now, let Omega Supreme come.
Target the Seekers! Get those Decepticons out of the sky! Looks like the Autobots are still using these guns, Megatron. Our Seekers are getting shredded.
Which I think really that's an understandable thing. You know, the earthquakes in 2010 and 2011 were actually extremely traumatic things. And as much as people, you know, make out that they're fine, a lot of us really aren't. You know, it's still something that affects us. That. And there's no shame in that. No shame at all, really. But I think really the main issue has been... Oh no, Breakdown says it's okay. As New Zealanders, we have a she'll be right attitude. So we just sort of assume that things are going to be okay and, you know, we'll get through it and stuff. And, you know, that might be handy for some things, but it's not really handy for everything. So, you know, I think these days it's starting to become a bit better, knowing that there's a lot of, like, I guess undiagnosed post-traumatic stress disorder. And a lot of issues that have you know, affected the children and stuff. Even children that weren't yet born at the time of the earthquakes were affected by the stress and anxiety around the event. Oh no. Hopefully there's some health around here somewhere. Good. Yeah. Oh, there we go. Probably not the best place to go to get it. And I only have 9 ammo left. And some of you might be wondering, why am I not just using the big guns? Because I want to save them. I'm pretty sure this is one of the places for a final stand with Omega Supreme, if I remember correctly. So yeah, you kind of want to save a bit of ammo. Because of course he's
Cybertron analysis indicates the firepower of those turrets is sufficient to damage Omega Supreme.
Oh god.
Speaking of Omega Supreme, precisely as I had planned. Decepticons, man the
It's at this
turrets
point that I
and
realised,
blast that
like, I'm
obsolete
trying
hulk out
to
of the
reload,
sky.
but it's not allowing it
Acquired.
because it's jammed on an interact.
Decepticons, prepare for destruction.
Alright. We'll have to restart from the last checkpoint then. If you can't reload your weapons, then they're not going to work, and yeah. Oh, marvellous.
Megatron analysis indicates the firepower of those turrets is sufficient to damage Omega Supreme.
Speaking of Omega Supreme,
There he is.
Precisely as I had planned. Decepticons, man the turrets and blast that obsolete hulk out of the sky!
Targets reacquired. Attack commencing. Decepticons, prepare for destruction.
Yeah. So that's a good indication of what not to do. Don't just sit there in the flame. You know, I think I was talking about the earthquakes and stuff. Not the earthquakes specifically, as such. But more that, you know, it's okay to seek help if you need help. Different kind of turret, this one. It's not the good old machine gun variety.
Attack Decepticons! We defeat Omega Supreme here, or we die trying!
I much prefer the other kind of turret. which I think is understandable in itself, you know. These ones have very, very slow.
Omega Supreme has deployed aerial bots. Shoot them down.
You know, it's got a very slow fire to it.
According to my calculations, our chances
Powerful,
of defeating Omega
but
Supreme
slow.
are very low.
Target reacquired. Weapons engaging.
It's sort of like an exercise in trying to tell where he is.
Supreme's main weapon batteries are charging. Prepare for evasive action.
Okay. I know Soundwave just said something there, but I completely missed what it was. Hopefully it's nothing too important. Oh. I have to admit, every other time I've played this, I'm sure I've had my ass kicked really badly by this point.
Soon you shall bend to my will.
So maybe this particular turret is actually a really good spot. Ooh, look at that. Bit of a hat trick there.
Omega Supreme approaches.
Homing rockets, take cover.
Oh, shield up. Okay, better exit the turret. And hope like hell they impact outside.
Warning. Sensors indicate Omega Supreme is powering up his primary weapon.
I kind of wish that he had this kind of primary weapon in the original show. But he's never shown to use it, sort of thing. There he goes.
He's going down! Eat that, rust for brains!
Omega flees like a coward. Now, let's finish the job.
I hope you enjoyed that. The next one is the Final Guardian, where we'll fight Omega. And like I said, the choices you'll get are Megatron, Soundwave, and Breakdown. So you can vote for those on Facebook and Twitter. And then I will record them for you. And that will be the end of the Decepticon campaign next week. The following week will be the very first of the Autobot campaign. So I hope you've enjoyed yourselves. I apologise for my waffling and my tangents. And if you liked it, then, you know, give us a like, maybe subscribe, and share it with your friends if you feel like they might enjoy watching it too. And until next time, take care of yourselves.